Good afternoon, softball fans, and welcome to the 2024 ISC World Tournament. Blair Setford, Joe Todd with you on the ISC Network. Game 2, Day 2, Joe Todd, Circle Tap Dukes, and the Vanderhoof Rippers. One team's all in white, the other team's all in black.
I love the contrast.
Yes, I do love the contrast. And it's going to be a contrast, Joe, because on Sunday here at the World Tournament, you kind of get things mixed up a little bit where teams who might be heading in two different directions end up facing off early in the bracket. The Dukes come in ranked number 5. Vanderhoof down in the upper 20s, lower 30s. So it's a bit of a mismatch on paper. One of the wild cards, of course, though, can be pitching. And you're looking at Nick Need as you see the Circle Tap lineup flash by. Nick Need, Canada, U20, well, it was U18, but it ended up effectively being U20.
20 now, yeah.
Yeah, and pitched the bronze medal game at that WBSC event. Got Canada a bronze medal over Team USA in that one. And he's a real good young prospect from up in Terrace, BC. And somebody to watch, somebody to keep an eye on. He was in the World Tournament last year as an 18-year-old with the Rio Grande Senators. Hometown team here this week. And in front of the home crowd, too. An opportunity to impress a little bit and maybe get through this batting order once and twice. It's a good one for the Dukes. This is as good a hitting lineup for Circle Tap as I've seen in a number of years.
Yes, they made some big improvements over the year.
Scott Patterson, Callum Bichel, Luigi Pinto, Blair Ezekiel, Matt Palazzo, Justin Laskowski, Tyler Damon, Franco Ortejado, Tyler Johnson, and Jorge Segura will do the pitching for the Dukes today. Scott Patterson comes over from the Hill United Chiefs. He was all-world last year and on a line, but into the glove of the second baseman for Vanderhoof. That's Eric Janola with the diving grab and some good defense right off the hop here for the Rippers.
Great defense. Good read off the bat by Eric Janola. Good attempt bunt there by Callum Bichel.
Defensively for the Vanderhoof Rippers, Robbie Antoine, Jeremy Buckley, Reese Weninger left to right in the outfield. Around the horn, Dre Thomas, Shaw Wallace, Shaw Wallace, Eric Janola, and Nick Lanigan is at first base. That one just catches, or fails to catch the inside corner. Nick Need, and he's pitching to Logan O'Leary, catching behind the plate. Nick Lanigan, Joe, was the young man from North Harbour in New Zealand who actually accepted the Hall of Fame credentials today for and on behalf of Brad Rona.
Yes, he made the trip over and going to spend the off season here in British Columbia. Going to get a full year of ball in. Really as to your experience level. Nick Need did that last year, and he traveled over to the New Zealand area.
Just misses upstairs, ball 4 to Callum Bichel, who Team Australia, Aussie Steelers, and he comes with some pretty solid credentials, does Callum Bichel. You talk about a guy with solid credentials, tied for the World Tournament last year in the RBI lead, Luigi Pinto, Venezuelan national, taking over the catching duties for Circle Tap Dukes and has really solidified that spot behind the plate. Here's a little flare out on the left. That'll just make the grass. Bichel rounds up the second. And a walk and a single for the Dukes. And they've got a couple runners aboard for Blair Ezekiel. Blair Ezekiel, not quietly, Joe, with some flash, let's admit it. 7 times all-world.
Good ball player. All the tools.
Well, I wouldn't say he's very quick.
No.
Certainly not anymore, anyway.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, yes. Yeah. But you're right. A guy who has all the tools and can hit the ball long, always hit for average, has been above average defensively his whole career, has played multiple positions. looking at a bunt early. Scott Standiford looking to push some runs across. I mean, this is a team, you're playing out of your weight class here, but Scott Standiford showing some respect, knows that Nick needs a good pitcher, and willing to put his cleanup batter into a sacrifice position.
Well, you're going to have to execute sometime along throughout this tournament, so good time to get this in.
Swinging away here, takes a strike. But a 38.5 footer, and a good job there behind the plate by Logan O'Leary to keep that one in front of him. And you'll get that from time to time, Joe, from young pitchers. You miss the release point.
You just got to work on that pitch early. Try and stay around that plate. Don't have to go right down the middle. Try and pick some corners. Need with a pitch in the release. Nice call.
Oh.
Nice location.
There was a corner that you talked about. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Blair Ezekiel. All 3 of the Ezekiel brothers are here this week. Middle Bradley and younger Kyle, both with the Hill United Chiefs. Reaches out and chops that one foul. So good plate coverage. Joe, we just had one other game this morning. Well, this afternoon now. We had the Hall of Fame this morning. What did we have? We had the 16-0 win here on the ISC network by the Northeast Drillers. JB was also on action.
7-0 victory this morning. Actually, noon hour game, I believe it was. A 12:30 game, was it, Blair?
Yeah, they both at 12:30. Blair Ezekiel fouls that one off to the screen. Started a little bit early to make sure that all of the games are done by the time opening ceremonies roll around at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central. You can adjust for your own particular time zone. Looking forward to the opening ceremonies. We'll celebrate the Native heritage here in southern BC. I was talking with Brian Aridis a little bit earlier, one of the heads of the host committee along with Greg Tim. Blair Ezekiel, ground ball. They flip to 2, and now they're going to have a play at the plate, but the throw is errant. Callum Bichel will come around to score. Good heads-up base running there by Bichel as they went to 2, and they erased Luiger Pinto. Blair Ezekiel ends up at second on the play on the fielder's choice. But just a little bit of a throw wide at the plate.
Little errant throw there by the second baseman, Eric Ginola. Two down right away. Just the 1 run scored now.
So Matt Palazzo to the plate, our good friend Matt Palazzo, who stood in a couple of times last year on color commentary, Joe, when you were otherwise occupied with some ISC2 duties. Did some double duty for us at his hometown park and Circle Tap. Always happy to have Matt join us. Veteran for Team USA, and Joe, they've got that big qualifier coming up this fall in September with Team USA. Japan look to be the 2 favorites in that qualifier in Oklahoma City. But you've got to be careful that you don't drop any games to teams that you shouldn't otherwise be into a match with.
Yes, you have to be very careful there and make sure you go in there with your best 9. Don't take anything for granted.
Well, Team USA, and we've been talking about it in a number of the feature games, Team USA has got some great players up and down the lineup, and they finally, after so many years, have got some pitching. Not that they didn't have good pitching before, but these guys are right at the top of the game. Marco Diaz. Brad Kilpatrick, I think due to work issues, won't be on the roster.
Yeah, he has made that commitment to University of Washington.
Yeah, but Marco Diaz can carry teams a long way. Called a strike to Palazzo.
To me, Matt Palazzo is a professional hitter. He just does everything right at the plate. Nice stance, nice level swing.
I go back to the years that he had with the Gremlins in 18 and 19, just hitting home run after home run. Ball 4 down low from Nick Need to Matt Palazzo. Second walk of the inning.
The second baseman, number 19, Justin Laskowski.
2 out in the inning. Justin Laskowski to the plate, the 6th batter for Circle Tap, a member of Team Canada in this most recent qualifier event. Canada didn't send the full A team; it was more like the AB team. A mix of development players, but also some roster guys, and they finished in the 3rd place position. But as the host, they will automatically qualify for the World Cup. Justin Laskowski has been on the roster the last cycle and a half, Joe, and he's a guy you have to think is going to be in the mix for Team Canada to be on that June-July roster for next year.
Got a lot of pop in his bat. Plays some really good defense.
Waited for that one, kept the hands back and drives it out to right. Blair Ezekiel will come around and score the 2nd run. Up the 3rd goes Palazzo as he goes coast to coast. And Justin Laskowski picks up an RBI. And that was a good at-bat, Joe, because you could see it. He literally was focusing. Watch it here. Keeps the hands back and then drives that pitch through the 3.5 hole.
Nice level swing by Laskowski, driving that ball to right field, scoring that 2nd run.
Tyler Damon, 3rd base for the Dukes. In for a strike from Nick Need. When he's hitting the corners, he's getting good spots, but occasionally he's getting a little bit too much of the plate. Just needs to be a little finer right now.
Yeah, as I said earlier, he needs to pick some corners. He just can't come fat.
Just off the plate.
Our umpiring crew for today's game, Eric Salgado from Kissimmee, Florida on the plate, Yuri Dostal from Prague, Czechia at first base, and Kevin Wallace from Shipman, Illinois at 3rd base.
And already, Joe, some activity down in the bullpen for the Vanderhoof Rippers. I think that's a Josh Merritt. They've got white uniform numbers on white uniforms, so a little tough to read from a distance. I'm sure they look good when you're standing right next to the guy, but I think that is number 61. Up and in to Tyler Damon.
Falling behind in the counts a lot here now. 3-1 count to Damon.
Vanderhoof from up in northern BC near Prince George, or at least in the general northern BC area. I know our good friend Rich Haldane plays with these guys from time to time. Rich is in Vernon, BC, so halfway between the north and the interior. That's the 2nd time a ball has gotten away from the bullpen. This time the catcher runs out to go get it, so no harm, no foul there. That's down the left field line. There you get a good look at Nick Need, one of the few guys who does wear the mask. Upstairs, ball 4 to Tyler Damon. And Joe, as you said, fell behind and puts him aboard to load the bases for Franco Ortejado. And Joe, this is the guy you don't want to load the bases for. 3 home runs in 1 game for Argentina in that regional qualifier up in Prince Albert a month ago.
And you talked about the depth of the Circle Tap Dukes lineup. He's batting 8th.
Ortejado. Upstairs, ball 1. So struggling to find the range a little bit right now, Joe. He had a couple of corners early, but just hasn't been able to zone it up quite yet. Hard hit ball. That's over the head of the third baseman. It's going to go foul down the left side. Not by much.
It's important for Vanderhoof to kind of stay in this game, try and get that third out, shut the door right here, especially with the bases loaded.
Yeah, I just need a ground ball here and step on a bag. And that's chop foul again by Ortejado. Joe, a couple other games on the go here.
Pegasus Redmond are playing the Pukas Fastball Club, 2-1 score, 7-1 score, sorry. And the Ohio Bombers are playing the Alberta Master Pirates. They're 0-0. And the Kegel Black Knights are playing the Chippewa Chiefs, and that score is tied at 0s.
Yeah, both those couple of games just getting underway at the same time ours is. This one is just poked out to right, and that's going to be a fair ball. Good bit of hitting by Ortejado. He's going to clear the bases. 3 RBIs, trying to stretch it into 3, slides in with a triple. And Joe, that might be the softest hit triple we'll see all week. He just reached out, flicked the wrist down the line, and it rolled and rolled, and it kept rolling away from the right fielder, Reese Weninger. Had to run a long way to go get it, clears the bases, picks up 3 RBIs. That's a nice, neat triple. You see it on the replay. Watch, he just flicks the wrists. And it just falls fair, too.
Yeah,
Weninger's got a long way to go.
Just on the edge of the line there. The old story, hit it where they're not.
So Circle Tap Dukes.
Head coach Rich Haldane out there calling time.
Yeah, that's Rich out for a mound visit. Tyler Johnson, the 9 batter, another Team USA guy. And he drills one. That's going to go foul down the right side. Tyler, old school Joe Todd. He has got no batting gloves, choked up in the box on that bat, about 5-6 centimeters from the bottom of the bat.
I love that look. Nice and clean.
Well, he's got a wristband on, though.
Oh, yeah. You need that.
Down low from Nick Need. Ortejado out at third base. And in for a strike to Tyler Johnson. Tyler burst onto the scene. What was it now? It was pre-COVID, I think. He had himself a big year the first year we were at Circle Tap. I want to say 19 maybe, the first year we were at Circle Tap. Yep. Really impressed with his bat. Got a couple, I think, of all-world citations. This one is fouled back into the screen. I mean, and this is a good lineup to learn things from, too. Blair Ezekil's been around the block a couple of times. Matt Palazzo, a veteran. Luiger Pinto has been a star with the Venezuelan national team for at least a decade.
Good pick of a corner, just missing off the edge.
Two balls, two strikes to Tyler Johnson, 9 batter. The Dukes, at worst, are going to bat around here in the top of the first. Tyler Johnson giving the screen a workout.
Nick Need up to 36 pitches so far in the inning.
You know, Joe, for an overcast and damp morning, it's turned into a lovely afternoon here at Softball City in downtown Surrey, BC. That gets through the wickets of the catcher, Logan O'Leary. And coming in for the 6th run is Ortejado. Joe, this is starting to look a lot like the first inning that we saw in the prior game. Northeast Drillers piled on 9 in the first inning against the Richmond Rays.
Very tough inning.
So base is now empty for Johnson. Called strike 3 in the inside corner. Johnson thought he had worked the walk, but down on strikes. Circle tap Duke, strike for 6. Top of the first. We'll go to the bottom for the Vanderhoof Rippers coming to the plate. Well hit, deep right field. It's curving. This one, well hit to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Bettsgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Start spreading the news, Joe Todd. It's New York, New York. Well, Joe, will it be the New York Gremlins to dance in circles again at the end of this one, or somebody else?
Well, obviously they're the favorite going in, but there's potential for a couple of teams to knock them off.
I think we saw one this morning. The Northeast Drillers beat the Gremlins a couple of weeks ago in Ashland. Hill United Chiefs, certainly a contender. Circle Top Dukes, maybe a dark horse. Bear Creek Express, don't count them out. Can Ty Sebastian do it again late in a championship night here at Softball City for the Toronto Batmen? Did it last September. Vanderhoof Rippers to the plate. Czar Shaw Wallace leading things off. Jeremy Buckley, Logan O'Leary. Nick Lanigan, the Kiwi, bats 4th. Reese Weninger, Eric Ginola, Robbie Antoine, Sheldon Patrick, and Dre Thomas in the 9 spot for the Rippers. For Circle Tap defensively, Tyler Johnson in left, Scott Patterson in center, Callum Bichel in right. Around the horn, Tyler Damon, Franco Ortejado at short, Justin Laskowski, Blair Ezekiel at first. It's Jorge Segura who gets the start today, in case you didn't recognize the tall Guatemalan leaping off the board for the Dukes. Luiger Pinto behind the plate. It's an international lineup out there, Joe Todd. You've got Argentina, Canada, Guatemala, Venezuela, Australia, and the USA represented for the Dukes.
Kind of like the United Nations team here.
Well, they're not alone in that regard. We say this often. The I stands for international. And it is certainly that these days. I mentioned this yesterday. If you weren't with us, 6 of the 7 continents are represented here at the International Softball Congress this week, and we will work on getting somebody from Antarctica. They're the only ones missing. I don't know what's wrong with the Antarcticans down there. Send us a penguin or something from the South Pole. Jeremy Buckley at the plate for Vanderhoof.
Good learning experience. Vanderhoof Rippers here facing Circle Tap.
You never quite know what you're going to get from Jorge Segura coming off the mound. I'm waiting for him to throw one between the legs one time. The old Eddie Feiner. It's chopped, but it's foul. Jorge's got a great drop, and that's his bread and butter pitch. The rise ball, you can pretty much leave that one alone. It'll be up out of the zone. Changes speeds effectively, but the drop is the big pitch for Jorge Segura. He's a lawyer back in home in Guatemala City. Does not go. Kevin Wallace, Shipman, Illinois, down at third base. Joe, I mentioned that championship game. Kevin Wallace was the backup home plate umpire for that Canadian championship game last year. He was here on the umpire exchange. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jeremy Buckley. I think 4 pitches into that championship game, there was a foul ball and went off the hand of Frank Forgy and actually broke a bone in his hand. Didn't want to come out of the game, but he had to with a broken hand, obviously. Kevin Wallace pressed into duty. 15 full innings later, over 400 pitches he had to call between Ty Sebastian and Sean Cleary. 46 strikeouts between the two of them, 22 for one, 24 for the other. I forget who had which.
I believe it was 2:30 something Ontario time, Eastern Standard Time.
This one well hit, deep left field, to the track, to the fence, and gone. Logan O'Leary hits a solo bomb, gets Vanderhoof onto the board. Boy, he went down and he got absolutely all of that. Can't wait to see this one on the replay.
Now up the bat for the Rippers, the first baseman, number 7.
Drop, middle, and he deposits that one over the left field fence for a solo shot. Logan O'Leary.
Full contact with the barrel right there.
Nick Lanigan to the plate, the young Kiwi. And he looks at a strike on the outside corner as Jorge Segura back to work. The wind looks like it's blowing out again, Joe, from left to right, but more out than left to right today again. But that was not wind assisted whatsoever.
No.
That did not need any help. That ricocheted off the back fence at about 295 feet.
He got all of that, putting that first run on the board for the Vanderhoof Rippers.
You might say he ripped it.
Very early this morning, Blair. You're very good.
Well, it's 2:30, almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Joe. It's even later than that where you and I are from. So. Pinto had crept outside, but that one misses out and away. Lanigan works a walk. So after the home run, the Rippers get a runner aboard, and Reese Winiger, opportunity to maybe draw the Rippers a little bit closer together. Jorge looking for a call.
Not happy with the strike zone right now of
Wow.
Eric Salgado.
You got a 5-run lead.
Yeah.
Foul that one right off. Upstairs, snap throw. If the tag is lower from Ezekiel on the knee as opposed to the hip, I think he's out.
Yes, excellent throw.
Yeah,
good gun.
Real good arm there from Luiger Pinto. We know he and Rafa Flores from Venezuela, they all like to throw the ball. Swing and a miss right through. Just misses off the outside corner.
Worked it to a full count now, 3-2.
On the infield, Hopper down to third base. Damon with a good strong throw over to Ezekiel at first to end the inning. Logan O'Leary brings one across for the Vanderhoof Rippers with a no-doubter to left field. 6-1 after one complete circle tap. Dukes out in front here on day 2 at the ISC World Tournament.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business. How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Well, new pitcher for the Vanderhoof Rippers as we'll go to the second inning. Josh Merritt on a relief. Nick Need goes just the one inning, gives up 6 runs on the 3 hits, a couple of walks. Joe certainly didn't help the cause for Nick Need in the first. And right back to the top of the shop with Scott Patterson for the Circle Top Dukes. What a great addition he is at the top of the order. Patterson can hit the ball out of the park, hit for average, gap to gap, really runs well.
Great leadoff batter.
Just in on the corner, tight zone here from the home plate umpire.
Eric Salgado.
Merritt just wants to get on the same page as his catcher. And if you're not the guy that you warm up with, it's tough to sometimes come in and then you're throwing to a completely different guy, Logan O'Leary. And as the catcher, you want to know what's coming, obviously. Here's a little flare out into short left, ranging back the shortstop. 3-4 steps out onto the grass as Czar Shaw Wallace
Now for the Duke.
makes the catch.
Right fielder, number 27, Callum Michelle.
Callum Bichelle walked, came around and scored on the throwing error. That was the first run of the game for the Dukes. They'd go on to add 5 more in the first. Called a strike. Bichelle, Aussie national, and got to see the first Aussie, Joe, go into the ISC Hall of Fame this morning. The Dukes were out in force. A lot of the Aussies that were here at the ISC World Tournament were there to pay tribute to Jeff Goolagong. This one is flared out to center right. Ranging across is the center fielder, Jeremy Buckley. And just quickly, Joe, 2 down.
Vanderhoof looking for a good quick inning. Get back in there.
Luigi Pinto reached on a single, nice hard hit single, and then erased on the force at second. Boy, he just really uncoils with his stance.
Good quick bat.
I was literally about to say that, and you beat me to it. He is so quick through the zone with that bat. He gets to it fast.
He moves his hands extremely well.
I mean, we saw Toriyama yesterday with that almost crouched stance, not too dissimilar. And again, he just blasts this one through the hole, and a 2-out base hit. Callum Bichelle should come on to run for Luigi Pinto with the 2-out catcher rule, and we'll see if he emerges from the dugout here.
First baseman, number 21, Blair Essicle.
Boy, if they're not making that trade, they are.
Yeah, they need to fix
They're
that.
wasting the opportunity that they've got there. Well, it looks like Pinto is going to keep running. That's honestly, that's bad management there. Trading your catcher for a guy who runs like Callum Bichelle. Now he's coming out of the dugout. Somebody is, at least anyway. There we go.
Yeah.
Callum Bichelle. So
That's a good trade.
yeah, it absolutely is a good. I couldn't explain why they wouldn't make that trade. Having a fleet outfielder instead of your catcher, there's no reason not to take that one. But Pinto, 2 for 2, and 2 hard hit balls as well. So Blair Essicle hit into that fielder's choice, ultimately come around to score. Here's where Josh Merritt has got to go back to work, not worry about that runner at first, just focus on the batter and get an out.
Try and stay on the inside corner of the plate against Blair. Blair pulled the ball the last time down to third baseman, Gary Thomas.
He went inside just a little too far inside. Yep, gets Blair Essicle on the foot. And after getting 2 quick outs, Josh Merritt's worked himself into a bit of a jam now with a pair of runners aboard.
2 out, the designated player, number 4,
Matt Palazzo to the dish. Matt worked a walk. He came around to score. Just trying to be a little bit too fine here, Joe. You don't want to leave it down the middle, but you don't have to nibble either. Just throw to the glove on the corner.
Try and hit the mitt.
Yeah.
Leave some confidence with your catcher and your infielders to play good defense. I think I'd try and concentrate on throwing some drop balls here. Keeping the ball in the infield, keep the ball low.
Yeah, keep it down for sure. I went upstairs a bit. Matt Palazzo fouled that off. And just find your confidence pitch, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are both thinking drop, but find your confidence pitch. That one you're going to throw to get a strike. There's a good-looking changeup in for a strike. Had Palazzo out on the front foot and couldn't bring the hands through.
Great mix there.
No, came back with the changeup again. Palazzo a little bit more ready for it this time, but way out still on the front foot. But he had the presence of mind just to yank it foul. And this is where you got to learn now. So Palazzo has seen that pitch twice.
Yeah.
Probably put that away for the rest of the at-bat. Focus on your best pitch here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Straight back to the screen.
Just missed that ball.
There's enough of a breeze right now to almost classify as a jet stream, and it's blowing straight out to center field too. Running through the signs are Merritt and O'Leary. Not quite on the same page. Palazzo will buy them an extra couple of seconds. Called strike 3, outside corner. Matt Palazzo not thrilled with that one, but the Vanderhoof Rippers will take it. They get out unscathed. The Dukes strand 2 here in the second. We'll go to the home half. Vanderhoof Rippers coming back up to the plate.
HRD Bat Co. owners Nick Shales and Trevor Oakes want to bring the best quality bats to baseball players all over the world. Our pro-grade wood combined with our finish process makes them some of the hardest bats with the biggest pop in the game. Customization is our specialty. We offer a variety of handcrafted models and unlimited design. Visit us at hrdbatco.com. Play hard, swing hard.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS,
Should be. So Eric Ginola, Robbie Antoine, Sheldon Patrick for the Vanderhoof Rippers to face Jorge Segura. In for a swinging strike to Eric Ginola. Second baseman for Vanderhoof. Joe, coming up after this one, we've got the opening ceremonies. We'll be on the air for that one. No commentary through it, but we'll be picking up the ambient sound. And I know we're going to pay tribute to the First Nations community here in southern British Columbia.
Stay tuned to that. It's always a great ceremonies.
Yeah, we'll have the Hall of Famers out on the field. We had a chance to chat with Donnie Hale in the prior game. If you get an opportunity, you want to hear from Donnie Hale and some of his memories on his experiences in 17 years in the ISC World Tournament. One of the premier hitters of Joe, the last 30 years in this tournament. Wow, that guy hit home runs. Up the middle, coming across is the shortstop, but Unable to make the play off balance. Ortejado, just give him credit, Joe, for getting to that ball in behind second base. Look how far he's got to go just get a glove on this. Way in behind the bag.
Good range.
Just crossed himself up trying to come across the body there. But nonetheless, some real impressive range to go get that ball. Base hit on the infield for Eric Janola. Robbie Antoine. Left fielder for Vanderhoof. He's showing bunt. I don't know, Rich Haldane, whether he had the bunt signal on, down 5 here in the second. I'm kind of skeptical on that one, but.
Wants to see if they execute.
There it is again. Well, you know, we talked about this the last game, too. This game probably really isn't for this game. This game is for the next game for both of these teams. You're setting yourself up for what you're going to do the rest of the week for Vanderhoof going one direction, for Circle Top going in a different direction. They've both got different goals coming into the ISC World Tournament, being realistic about it.
And they can carry this good experience that they get playing against this Circle Top team back to their league action, too.
Called a strike. They're pretty insistent on this bunt here, so he's up there to get it right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Surely not bunting with 2 strikes.
I wouldn't think so. No sign. That's a good thing.
Chopper on the infield. Laskowski waits for it to come down. Backhand to Ortejado, who features a really good arm, I just noticed there, Joe. He slung that across pretty quickly. Watch on your replay here how quickly it's in and out of the glove and on the move. They don't get him at first, but not for lack of effort.
Good transfer from the glove to the throwing arm there.
So Antoine aboard on the fielder's choice. Sheldon Patrick now to the plate. The designated player for the Rippers this afternoon. He turns and bunts this one back to the screen. Just misses off the corner. Joe, just continuing on with that opening ceremonies thought. We'll get all of the teams introduced out onto the field. We'll have all of the Hall of Famers. Jeff Goolagong.
Teams
Donnie
will be
Hale. We had Robbie Schweier all this morning, and 3 great players, and I thought all of them were very emotional with their speech, somewhat surprisingly so. It was upstairs, snap throw. Oh, he was going to be out too. It was in a glove. I think the knee came in and hit the back of Blair Ezekle's glove. Watch the replay. He's going to be out. And it's the knee that knocks the ball out of the back of Blair Ezekle's glove. So Patrick down on strikes. That'll bring up the 9 batter, Dre Thomas, with 2 out. And you better not stray too far off of first at your own peril.
Pinto has showed that he's willing to make that throw.
With some alarming accuracy, too. Big cut there by Dre Thomas, third base for Vanderhoof. Brad Rona, of course, the 4th player that was inducted today. We had Brad on a Zoom call from his home in just outside of Auckland, New Zealand, 4 in the morning for Brad. Drank a cup of coffee during the speech. But always great to ensure that we get to hear from all of the Hall of Famers, and I was really glad that we were able to get Brad on the line and have that conversation with him to go along with the three players, and then the daughter of the late Craig Donaldson, whose dream it was to bring this tournament here to the greater Vancouver area. We will pick that story up on the other side. Jorge Segura picks up another 2 strikeouts. The Rippers strand 1 here in the second inning, and we will go to top of the third for the Dukes coming up.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
It'll be Justin Laskowski, Tyler Damon, and Franco Orteado for the Circle Tap Dukes. Laskowski had an RBI single back in the first inning.
Pulled that ball hard between first and second base.
There were a lot of hard hit balls back in the first inning. This one well hit to deep right field. Going to watch that one go. Justin Laskowski, 2 for 2 with a big home run. Joe, he got all of that one.
That pitch cleared the second fence. Kids are over there now picking that ball up.
Now coming up the bat for the Dukes, the third baseman, number 0, Tyler Damon.
Tyler Damon will try to follow that act up. And again, Joe, we talked earlier about this seems like it might be the best hitting Dukes lineup in a number of years. And with Laskowski down in that 6th spot in the order, he's been in the middle previously, but he's down a couple of spots, maybe a little bit less pressure. Got to protect for Matt Palazzo, but you're also going to see some pitches in that spot, and that's a great opportunity there for Justin Laskowski.
Good opportunity for him to see some pitches down lower in that spot. Flags are flying a little bit harder now. Wind is picked up.
Damon walked and scored on that bases clearing triple by Orteado. And another walk to Tyler Damon. Well, he didn't even need to bring the bat with him to the plate there. He could have just stood there. None of those pitches really all that close from Josh Merritt and that particular AB. You get a little bit of a look at some of the behind-the-scenes activity here at Softball City. They've got a number of food trucks set up in the alley, one of the alleyways in between diamonds. That's the, what do you call it, the midway, the food court, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, the food court. I ran into our photographers, Nick Fisher, Evan Fisher, and they were having the tacos and said they were quite good. So I don't know whether we're going to try those later in the week. That's a 42.5-footer, and up to second base goes Tyler Damon as that skipped past Logan O'Leary. In addition to the food carts, of course, or the food trucks, there's an on-site restaurant, full-service restaurant, literally right in behind us here on the second level at Softball City. The grandstands, of course, right in front of us. That one skips away again, and Josh Merritt, right now, Joe, not even close to finding the zone, and he's got to reset a little bit because he's just given up free base after free base to Tyler Damon.
Yeah, you just can't do that to this kind of team. Just try and stay around the plate. Don't overthrow. Stay within yourself.
I think that's the key right there. Don't overthrow. Pours that one in for a strike. And again, we talked about just go find your go-to pitch. Ball 4, and again, skipped it in. Ortejado with the walk.
Now coming up for the Dukes, the left fielder, number
So
2.
Tyler Johnson will come to the plate. Runners on the corners. We'll see how aggressive Scott Standerfer wants to be. Looked like he just put up a stop sign there, Joe. So that was pretty blatant.
Yeah.
And again, that's about the 5 of the last 6 pitches have been to that right side or through that right side batter's box, but none of them make the plate first.
Not anywhere near the plate right now.
No. Good idea here by Logan O'Leary to just go out and buy some time for Josh Merritt.
Umpire Eric Salgado is recording that as a mound visit.
Well, indeed it was. So that's your charge defensive delay, and he just called that out for Logan O'Leary. So that rule, not quite unique to the ISC, but you're allowed 1 charge defensive meeting like that per inning. That's it. And again, skipped in. But O'Leary's got to call something different behind the plate, too. You can't keep putting down the deuce if they're going to all jump into the dirt like that.
Yeah, move the target around. Give him something to aim, different to aim for.
How did you like the Sydney Tropics uniforms last night?
The blue and the orange,
Yeah.
The old Miami.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Miami Dolphins colors.
Yeah.
I was a fan, and I'm not that I'm a football fan or a Miami Dolphins fan, but I really like that color combo.
Sure, they're going to be looked at for the best dressed team during our opening ceremony.
Yeah, that's going to come up. There were some interesting color combinations out there. I don't know if you saw the Emery Electric Chargers.
No, I didn't see that one.
It was like a light, depending on the lighting angle, you could say light gray or light purple with some green in it. And just different is all I'm saying. I don't know. It was a different look, that's for sure. Toronto Batmen always a favorite in that category. There's some great looking uniforms. I really like the glowworm stuff that they bring to the park. I think it's personally, I think it's terrific looking with the black and the purple mix. But bases loaded here for the top of the shop. Scott Patterson again skipped in, and going to come in from third base this time is Ortejado, and he'll score the 8th run for the Dukes. But they're pretty easy to score, Joe, when they're handed to you this way.
Yes. Vanderhoof's still looking for that first out of this third inning.
And again, we're about to get the same result here. So Damon and now Ortejado have both trotted home from third. And I think Rich Haldane has seen this act one too many times. But again, you call a different pitch. We've seen him get a rise ball over for a strike, but we keep going back to that same pitch on the outside. They're trying to get the outside corner, but it literally is coming 42.5 feet every time.
Just has to mix it up something. Different grip on the ball, something. Different targets by the catcher. Make sure you get on the same page as your catcher.
Well, and this becomes very difficult, Joe, as you know, for the defense, too, because there's nothing you can do. You're just watching guys circle the bases. It's easy to get back on your heels, get a little discouraged. 9-1 for the Dukes now, and 3 runs have just come across, or sorry, 2 of those 3 runs this inning that have come across. You have no defense for them.
No. Let your defense play.
Same pitch, same result. And here's another one that's going to come in. Got to do something different.
Yeah.
That's just the definition of insanity right now. You keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
No one warming up in the Vanderhoof Rippers bullpen, so right now it's Merritt.
Well, maybe he's not here, but Nate Thiessen also does some pitching for this team. There's in for a strike. That was a different pitch. That was the rise ball that he's thrown for a strike a couple of times.
Wow.
That was a foul ball that landed perilously close. From the other diamond. And that's maybe why you haven't wanted to come in with a rise ball, as Scott Patterson hits this one 1.5 miles into the bleachers in straightaway center field. 10-1 now.
Scott Patterson got a full contact on that bat.
Well, he's going to put on the big home run chain. And you see a few more clubs are doing this. Yeah, this is middle, and say goodbye off the bat of Scott Patterson into that bleacher set there. But I hadn't seen Circle Top Dukes doing the home run chain. Is that a new one for you? I know Hill United has the big Chiefs hat, and JB have the goggles. At least they did last year, the Minion goggles.
This is my first time, I guess, seeing Circle Top other than on video, so.
Yeah, they didn't come up to Tavistock
No,
this
they
year.
did not.
It was that the same? I think there was competing weekends, was it not?
Oh,
no, that was the Ashland tournament.
Ashland tournament.
And this one is lifted out to center, but no threat of leaving the park. Jeremy Buckley will go get that one. That's just the first out of the inning, Joe.
Yes. The 6th batter that he faced before he got that first out.
Luigi Pinto, who has smashed 2 balls into the 5.5 hole both times, digs into that right side batter's box. And drills this one even harder, but a little bit further left of the fence. Just uncoiling like a spring there in the box is Luigi Pinto. He's picking right up where he left off last year, where he was smashing softballs all over the park, collecting RBIs by the mittful.
If I was Dre Thomas, the third baseman, I'd be playing back a step, maybe even.
Oh, he came in a step. I'd be the same thing. I'd be behind the bag by 12 feet at this point.
Scott Standifer is certainly pulled out of this coach's box, too.
Yeah, I'd be hiding behind those 2 guys from Vanderhoof that are hanging out of the dugout there. Oh, a little flare. That goes off his foot, and Kevin Wallace is all over that dead ball. See Luiger flexing that left foot. He's got enough armor on that to, you'd think, to protect himself. He looks like he's going jousting with all that armor. Big hack fouls that one straight back to the screen.
Vanderhoof looking for that second out of the inning here.
Pinto, little flare. He was out on the front foot, got underneath it. Flares that out to the left for the second out. Joe, I was just going to say, for the Southern Ontario fans who wanted to see Bear Creek and Walton Brewers, that's going to be on our Diamond 2 channel. Luciano Lafrano set up a single camera on Diamond 2, and that's going to play continuously. You can find the link for that on the ISC Facebook page or on Twitter. And the games that are on Diamond 2 today will be on that single stream that's just going to run all day long. So just picking up some additional coverage here at the ISC World Tournament. So defensive change for Vanderhoof as their DP, Sheldon Patrick. He has swapped positions for Robbie Antoine. A 11-1 lead for the Circle Top Dukes. Blair Ezekiel called strike in the outside corner. Jorge Segura, he's been down re-warming up in the bullpen for, I think that's Jorge. No, it's actually Matthew Beckett.
Yeah.
Young Aussie pitcher for the Dukes. Called strike, bottom of the zone. Blair Ezekiel's going to turn and look, but Blair, it's an 11-1 lead.
Yeah, let's strengthen up that, or widen up that strike zone.
Can't be looking for a walk.
Yeah.
Fouls this one up and over by the fence. Making the catch is the first baseman, Nick Lanigan. But Circle Tap piles on another 5 to make it 11-1. We'll go to the home half of the third. Vanderhoof Rippers need to regroup. So there's the overhead look at Softball City. Beautiful 4-diamond complex here. Just a fabulous, fabulous spot for the ISC World Tournament. I wonder why we took so long to come here, Joe Todd. I know we started to tell this story. Craig Donaldson, it was his brainchild to bring the ISC World Tournament back to Canada's West Coast. We haven't been here since 1997 in Victoria. And this idea, Craig, started 4 or 5 years ago, at least, in conversation with Greg Tim. This facility has been used for so many great softball events over the years. On the women's side of the game, the annual Canada Cup tournament is one of the largest tournaments in North America. They've had Olympic qualifiers here. They put in the first bid about 3-4 years ago. Eventually, they were awarded this tournament 2 years ago. And unfortunately, Craig Donaldson didn't live long enough to see this dream become a reality. Craig's daughter made a beautiful speech.
Had me in tears.
So many guys have been touched by Craig Donaldson and the work that he did over the years within our organization in the greater Vancouver area. He was a constant at so many parks and helped develop with the Lower Mainland League. Derek Mason stood up and talked about how many guys owe their position in the game to being touched by Craig Donaldson.
A great worker in our group. Just we lost a big part of our group there.
Yeah, it was a real shame that Craig passed away so young, and he had so many more years that he wanted to spend in this organization and doing great things, and one of which and was his lifetime dream to bring this tournament here. We're here. The tournament has been dedicated to Craig's memory. It was wonderful to see Craig's daughter here this morning, Kayla, and we're looking forward to her being on the field at 5 o'clock hour at least, in the opening ceremonies. Matthew Beckett is out on the board now for the Circle Tap Dukes, a hard-throwing right-hander from Australia. His first ISC World Tournament, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember him here.
In for a called strike. He's thrown a lot of innings here for Circle Tap over the course of the tournament circuit. The Dukes quite active through June and July and into August. Right on the outside corner. I don't know if he's as quick as Harrison Peters, Joe, but boy, he doesn't waste any time out there. They must have a 12-second clock down in Australia. Holy smokes. That one's fouled back.
Devin McCullough is warming up in the Circle Tap bullpen, just in case Beckett a little off.
What do you think, he might give up 8 or 9 here before they bring McCullough in?
McCullough's just getting some pitches in for this next game.
Yeah.
Getting a little pregame workout.
Zarshaw Wallace at the plate. He was down on strikes leading off the game in the bottom of the first for Vanderhoof. Here we are now, bottom of the third. High hopper on the infield, gonna have to move. He stumbled coming out of the box. Shaw Wallace, unfortunate. I thought maybe, Joe, he was gonna have a shot there, but Ortellado, the shortstop, nice calm, collected throw over to first base. Shaw Wallace, like I said, he looked like he spun and blew a bit of a tire coming out of the box.
Had good contact with that.
Yeah, hit it hard. So Jeremy Buckley. Beckett zips this one in for a strike.
Beckett doing exactly what you want out of a reliever, filling up that strike zone, keeping the ball down low.
Well, he's working ahead, right? 0-2
yeah.
Here. Just off the outside corner. And some work done in the bullpen for the Vanderhoof Rippers. I know Rich Haldane had a team meeting outside the dugout door after that long top of the third inning for the Rippers, and just wanted to collect the emotions of his team and to bring them back together. That was a real tough inning because, as we talked about, there's no defense for walks and pass balls, wild pitches.
Kind of have to regroup and just say it's nothing. Let's go out and play a good, clean inning. Try and win one inning here.
Beckett blows that one right by Jeremy Buckley for the third strike.
Now coming up at 2-0.
So Logan O'Leary will come up. Logan O'Leary has accounted for the Vanderhoof Rippers' only run, a no-doubter to left field. That was back with 2 out in the first inning. We'll see if Lightning can strike twice here for Vanderhoof. In for a strike from Beckett. And again, strike 1, an important first pitch.
Important to get ahead in the count. That way you can work with your other pitches now.
Well, that one gets away from Beckett, so I'll run the count 1-1. Not sure the guy who's doing the protecting for the Circle Top Dukes down in their bullpen fully understands the concept. He's 15 feet away, was almost in fair territory. Not sure who's down there, but he was well off from where Devin McCullough was throwing the ball. Had his back turned. Yep, just out here for an afternoon. Just watching a ball game. Up and away from Matthew Beckett.
Matt Harrow, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. He's having a pretty good conversation with Callum Bichel out and right. And that one is laced out over the head of Orteado. And 2 for 2 on the day. A home run and a hard hit single. Logan O'Leary having himself an afternoon here against Circle Tap.
O'Leary saying, come on, fellas, let's get going.
And he is the catcher, so we'll get the 2-out catcher replacement. Jeremy Buckley will come back to run for O'Leary. He'll go back and get the pads on and get a pat on the back from Rich Haldane. A deserved one, too.
Lanigan walked back in the first inning. Facing Jorge Segura. Nice pitch on that outside corner. Good movement.
Yeah, up in the zone. And I mean, a good-looking swing from Lanigan, but just that's not a good pitch to chase.
No.
And just struggling to find the zone a little bit, Joe. He was pretty efficient through the first couple of batters, but the single by O'Leary, and now 2 balls, 2 strikes to Nick Lanigan, the young Kiwi from North Harbor area. And this one is punched out to right. It's over in foul territory. Good job there by Callum Bichel to track that onto the dirt surface and then up against the fence for the final out. So it's 11-1 for Circle Top. We'll go to the 4th for the Dukes, and we'll see what they got in store for us.
The annual Boys' Summer Tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys' Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
So another new pitcher for the Vanderhoof Rippers. Nick Need started, went 1 inning. Josh Merritt comes on in relief and goes 2. And Joe, who do we got now?
Robbie Antoine, who started in left field, went to the DP position, and probably just pulled from the game to get some warm-up pitches.
Yeah, they had him warming up after they took him out. So Matt Palazzo to face Robbie Antoine with the 11-1 lead for Circle Tap. They need to push across a couple of more, Joe, to get into that 12-run spot after 4. 15-run differential after 3, 12 after 4, 7 after 5, and usually 1 run or more after 7.
That one is so key.
The 1 run after
That 1
7,
run.
yeah. It's a tough guy to start against.
Yeah.
Here, go in and go face Matt Palazzo,
Yeah.
one of the best hitters of the last decade. Have fun. That's a good pitch. Jammed him up and in.
A little bit of movement there.
Yeah. Swung underneath it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Matt Palazzo. Got caught looking in the second to end the second inning. And fouls this one back. Tied him up, is up and in on the hands again, too. Good, 2 good pitches up there
Yep.
from Antoine. Fouled off out of play. Joe, we've got a couple other games that were on the go at the same time here. Earlier it was Northeast Drillers, big 16-0 winners over the Richmond Rays. J&B.
J&B have a 7-0 victory. That's the final score now over the Emory Electric Chargers.
Little flip on the infield, and he tried to barehand it. That's a fair ball. Antoine, he had the time to get it in the glove and then flip it out, but he tried to barehand it, and he actually just kind of knocked it down into the dirt. So an E1, and boy, he's kicking himself over that.
He knows he could have done better there.
So then some of the active games here. Pegasus Redmond, they then 10-1 over to the Poucase team.
That's a final. Ohio Bombers are beating the Alberta Masters Pirates 4-0. That's a final score. Circle Tap Dukes, that's the game we're involved with. And then the Kegelbach Knights from Fargo, North Dakota, 3-0 over the Chippewa Chiefs.
Matt Harrow is at the dish for Circle Tap here as batting for Laskowski. I guess Justin going 2 for 2 was enough to earn him a break. People often talk about, well, why do you empty the benches here? Well, the reason why you empty the benches is so that guys like Harrow and others who are coming off the bench have had some swings in the tournament. They're not just coming in cold into a pressure situation in a later game in the week.
And again, they're probably going to be their only game today, so the only chance that they really might get some action against a pitcher.
Little chopper on the infield, some confusion there over who was going to get it, and really it was in a no man's land, because if you leave that for Eric Janola, don't know that you get Matt Harrow. Nick Lanigan come across, but Janola didn't read the play, thought he was going to get the ball and didn't cover the bag, and
So important on communication on that
Yeah.
that ball.
It really is, but that's literally in no
Yeah.
man's land there.
Yeah,
right?
I don't
You're
think it would have
almost-
thrown.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
So an infield base hit. Tyler Damon gets to bat for himself here. 2 walks, 2 runs scored. So it's been productive for Tyler. Hasn't had to swing the bat. One on the outside corner. Antoine, the 3rd pitcher of the day for the Vanderhoof Rippers. And this one is laced out to right, and a good catch out there by the right fielder, Reese Weninger.
Stayed with that ball. Eyes didn't leave the ball.
Yeah, and sometimes those line drives right at you, especially the sinking ones, can fool you a little bit. But you're right, he stayed with it, makes the grab. Archijado.
Having a big day at the plate.
Well, had that bases clearing triple. That's a real good change up there from Robbie Antoine. The bases clearing triple, then came in to score, walked and come around during the pass ball, wow, wild pitch really, struggles that Merritt was having in the 3rd. $11 runs for the Dukes, just the 7 hits. They've taken advantage of some walks and the opportunities that have been given to them. And it's been offense up and down the order. And Scott Standerford, you're going to love to see that. You'll be quite happy with guys taking that extra feet, extra bases when the opportunity is given as well.
Otellado needs a little more plate discipline there on that pitch. He kind of said, why did I swing at that pitch?
Well, the way he's been hitting the ball this year, he's been making contact with just about everything he's swung at. And a good look there to lay off the rise ball from Robbie Antoine.
A lot better plate discipline here now.
Over the top of the drop, that's a real good pitch from Robbie Antoine. He sets down Franco Ortellado, something they haven't been able to do here to this point.
For the Dukes, number 2, Tyler Johnson.
And if you're in the audience, you're wondering why are Circle Tap taking extra bases on that pass ball a couple pitches ago, or the wild pitch, depending on your perspective. Those 2 runs are the run differential makers. It's 12 differential that you need to end the game in 4 innings. So with a 10-run spread right now, the Dukes are trying to get those extra 2 runs. This is the World Tournament. You do what you can to get off the field as quickly as possible.
Yes.
You're not trying to show up the other team, but you're doing what you need to do for your game.
Eliminate your time on the field.
This one is punched out to the gap. That's going to get past Weninger and right, and there come the 2 runs. Johnson circles all the way around to a stand-up triple at 3rd, and he does the job that the Dukes needed him to do and push those 2 runs across.
Good punch there by Johnson. Got all that ball. Good follow through with that swing. Driving in Harrell and Palazzo.
So back to the top of the shop, Scott Patterson. Line out, fly out, and a big home run for Scott on the day. His 4th at bat here in the 4th inning. 1 every inning. And a good drop from Antoine. He's shown some good pitches
Yeah,
here
some
at times,
great,
Joe.
yes. Got some good movement on that ball. Hitting the mitt.
And again, took something off of that one, and got Scott Patterson off balance.
Keeping that ball low, so important.
Punched out to left. That's Sheldon Patrick out there in left now. He makes the grab for the final out, but the Dukes get the 2 runs they were looking for. It's a 12-run differential. They'll be looking for 3 outs here as we go to the home half of the 4th. The Rippers need to score to keep this one going.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor.
Well, go to the home half of the 4th inning. There you see some of our scorekeepers who also happen to be Circle Tap Dukes fans, as they have come all the way from Denmark, Wisconsin, last year's hosts. They've made their way out to Surrey, BC, and when they're not scorekeeping, Joe, they like to watch the Dukes.
Cheering their team on.
And speaking of the Dukes, Devin McCullough is the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon for Circle Tap as they get the entire pitching staff into action. Reese Weninger, Eric Janola, Robbie Antoine, scheduled hitters for the Rippers to face the guy who won the 2015 WBSC for Team Canada. Be interesting to see, Joe, how, if at all, Devin McCullough fits into the mix for 2025, 10 years later.
Will be very interesting to see how that falls into place.
Well, you've got a lot of guys who, I guess you would call them on the bubble. Cleary, you would think Schofield and Ty Sebastian pretty much have got that locked up from the pitching perspective, but McCullough is a guy that has been proven to be very good in Team Canada colors. Fouled back to the screen by Reese Weninger.
McCullough working to a full count here now, 3-2.
Giving the screen a good workout again here is Reese Weninger. One hopper out to Matt Harrow at second base. He stayed in the game after pinch hitting for Justin Laskowski, and he gets to handle that chance.
Good shift there by Harrow to move over and pick up that ball cleanly.
Now coming up for the Rippers with 1 out.
Continuing that fastball dynasty in the Harrow family, too. Lang and father, was it Bob Harrow first one down there?
Bob.
You're going into the game and the ball finds it. There's a line shot right off the bat of Eric Ginola and right into the glove of Matt Harrow. So
And now our for the Rippers.
2 down, and Robbie Antoine, last hope here for the Vanderhoof Rippers. Devin McCullough, fairly efficient for the first 2 outs. We'll see if Matt Harrow lets anybody else play.
Last year, Lang Harrow made the trip to Circle Tap to Duke.
He did.
Yes.
He did.
Came up in the booth and shook our hands and glad to say hello.
Well, he's one of the top class acts in the game in my book.
Yes.
We've known Lang for a number of years. Of course, the roots that they've got in southwestern Ontario, and always happy to see Lang, and the success that he's had with that Aussie Steelers program is certainly a testament to what he's been able to do in the game. And I think he's now at the Aussie Spirit with the women's side.
The
is he
women's
not?
side,
Yeah.
yes. Puts a lot of work into that program.
Just off the outside corner from Devin McCullough. Trying to close things out here in the 4th inning. Circle Tap Dukes, a 13-1 lead over the Vanderhoof Rippers. There's the
Nice
change up,
pitch.
and that is the game as Devin McCullough goes back to his bag of tricks to pull out that best pitch. Circle Tap Dukes, a pretty impressive offensive display up and down the order. 13-1 winners over Vanderhoof. Let's give a shout out to Logan O'Leary of the Vanderhoof Rippers. 2 for 2, a home run and a single for Circle Tap. Boy, there's a lot of boxes filled in. Big home runs from Scott Patterson, Justin Laskowski, that triple from Franco Orteado. All around, good opener for the Circle Tap Dukes.
Great first game for Circle Tap to get rolling in this World Tournament.
Stay with us here on the ISC Network. Coming up in about 1 hour's time, 5 p.m. Pacific, will be the opening ceremonies. Our broadcast partner, Peter Labardius, taking part in that. We'll be back at about 6:30 for the New York Gremlins, the defending champions, as they open up their account here at the 2024 ISC World Tournament. And then around 8:30, maybe earlier, we'll bring you the Hill United Chiefs in the nightcap. Blair Sedford, Joe Todd, thanks for being with us here on the IC Network. We'll see you in an hour.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.